Hello, good afternoon, everybody. We are going live. Now, as you notice, my two musketeers are not with me, but I'm very clever. I've captured them in these two gizmos. So one is sitting in this gizmo, the other one is sitting in this gizmo. So we have not lost our musketeers. They're still with us. Okay. Now the session today is going to focus on the idea of coronavirus. And even though it's such a gloomy situation, is there a silver lining to it? That's what we're going to discuss today. So here we go. First of all, Manish Bhai, any question you want to ask?
Yes, sir. Let's start with the coronavirus. Question is, what is the role of disease like coronavirus plague in terms of creation?
Okay. Now you see, the thing is this. We have to keep our feet firmly planted on ground when we are discussing things like that. I get, emails that are saying, Mr. Lakhani, this is God, in a way, punishing us for misusing the earth, or nature is in a way taking revenge on our humanity. This is why coronavirus. Look, we have to keep our feet firmly planted on the floor and think carefully about these things. Here is this world, this nature. It doesn't have a character saying, oh, I will go to revenge. Or there's no God sitting saying, I will take revenge. This is not Hinduism. So let us be very practical. When we have this living kingdom with planet and human beings and animals and all these animal activities, in a way we pay a price. When this spirit manifests on this earth as living things, it has to pay a price. The physical environment in a way will has a habit of trying to undermine it, damage it, or like a tsunami. So these things happen is part and parcel of creation. You cannot avoid it. As soon as we are born, as soon as living things appear on this earth, they have to be ready to be prepared to take on such challenges. This is not the first time such challenges are arising. I mean, in 1918, we had the Spanish flu that killed 40 million people. Now you can say, oh, this is the earth taking revenge or God taking revenge. These things are natural part of the world that we inhabit. So you cannot avoid it. The only thing is this. We human beings are so clever that we have found ways to try and in a way get around this. So we have found vaccinations, etc. And even with this coronavirus, we will find some vaccination which will in a way remove the distress that we are facing. So we have to pay tribute to humanity for resolving its own issue, not some God, not some religion, to kind of face up to this reality and find resolution to the issue that we face today. It's a very serious issue. So we have this ability, and we must, if you like, put full faith on humanity to sort this out rather than some kind of religious injunction. So this is my particular approach. Accept it as it is and try and resolve it using our best method that we possess, which is, if you like, the lovely medical history that we kind of developed. Manish Bhai, what else?
Thank you, sir. Next question is, if you are isolated in the coronavirus time, at home, alone or not with many people, how to spend time?
Okay. Look, in fact, one thing that I said in one of my text messages is this. Even though this appears like a very very, very gloomy and doom kind of situation, it is very nasty. I mean, the whole world is going to pay a heavy price economically, financially, and medically. A lot of people might die. So we are fully aware it's a very serious situation we face. And we can't see any silver lining to it whatsoever. But I am suggesting very clearly that, look, every time you get a kind of a serious challenge, humanity has a habit of taking on the challenge head on and turning into an opportunity for some betterment. So I'm not saying this is a good thing, it's a horrible thing that's happening to us, but we must roll up our sleeves, roll up my sleeves and come fighting and resolve this issue as best as we can. At the moment, it's the medical science that will do it. By the way, I get all these weird messages saying that, if you take garlic and this, you can resolve it, or drink this and that, or lemon juice. Look, I'm fully aware that Ayurveda has got a lot of benefits, and this Ayurvedic approach, herbal approach to addressing any medical issue is fine, it's perfectly fine. It has been very useful for thousands of years. But this particular virus cannot be handled by using, garlic, etc. So don't get caught up by this nonsense. We have to wait for the medical science to find the right vaccination to fight it and resolve it. So be aware. Don't get caught up by this kind of thing, or some guru saying drink this and you are okay. No, you are not okay. It's very dangerous. And again, Nishit, I will ask you to kind of suggest to us, Nishit Bhai, where are you? Oh, I lost Nishit Bhai. Lost one of the musketeers. He was going to mention about what are the key features regarding this particular virus and what we should be aware of. First of all, simple medical advice, simple thing. This particular pesky little virus is very difficult to get rid of. It is transmitted, if you like, through sneezing, coughing, etc. So it goes from somebody's lung to somebody else's lung, using either the eyes, the nose, or the mouth. They think like these are not minor things. Suppose I'm going in the street and somebody's I touch a railing and it has been infected, and then I do this to my nose. I'm asking for trouble. So making sure that you don't touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth are crucial features. And then again, avoid a lot of crowd, avoid avoid areas where there are a lot of people, because you're asking for trouble. The best way to get rid of this virus is very simple. It's like magic. You see, if you wash, mainly it is carried by your hands. When you touch something, it gets on your hands. If you wash your hands with just soap and water, this is what happens. The soap has got this magical property of, in a way, of wiping out this kind of slimy film that is around this particular virus. And when that slimy film is in a way washed away with just soap and water, that particular virus dies. So the simplest trick that we've been taught very clearly by all the governments and the World Health Organization is basically wash your hands, because this is where you carry the virus, on your hands. Wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, repeatedly, properly, don't rush. And this will in a way demolish the virus, so it doesn't enter your system. So these are the kind of simple rules that you've been told. Follow the rules, because this is where we can, in a way, address the issue that we face. Avoid kind of crowded places. Try and make sure that you keep washing your hands so that the virus doesn't enter your system. And don't touch your eyes, nose, or your mouth casually. I do it. We all do it. We do all this casually. This is dangerous. So don't touch your mouth, your nose, and eyes at all. Wash your hands first. Even if you want to put some food in your mouth, first wash your hands thoroughly in case some virus enters your mouth. So these are kind of simple tricks that I've been teaching. We must follow that to kind of address the serious issue we face. Let me take, this is kind of practical side of handling this virus, but let us talk about something more spiritual. Manish bhai, fire away.
Okay, sir, the question is, one of the viewer asked in YouTube, if one prays to Shiva to cure a dear one, if a dear one is not doing well and is in hospital, and one prays to Shiva wholeheartedly with one pointed attention, and somehow miracle happens and this person survives, is that proof that Shiva exists?
Yes, the thing is this. We actually, all of us, every human being possesses tremendous powers. We're not aware of it. These are mental powers, not physical powers. We don't have, we kind of, lift stones and all that. We have tremendous mental powers, but we are not able to tap into it. Even I'm not able to tap into it. I would love to tap into it, because if you can tap into our mental powers, this has been proved regularly, the mental power we possess can fight off diseases, including cancer. It is recorded. There was a lady in Hong Kong who had severe cancer, and one day she said, I'm going to, fling it away. It went away, the cancer went away. You see, how can this happen? Somehow she managed to tap into these powers that we have, which are mental powers. So suppose you've got tremendous fixation on a particular Godhead and say, I'm going to just focus on Shiva and he will remove this thing. It is your mind, not Shiva, it's your mind that will in a way play a part in a way removing your virus. It can happen, I'm very confident about it, but the thing is, for majority of human beings, I can't tap into the powers of my mind. For majority of human beings, it's going to be very difficult. Nishibhai, your turn to ask some questions.
So, one viewer, Trushar Patel, is asking if Ayurveda is given the status of a Veda. So, he says that, do you think that something like coronavirus or a similar virus happened in other previous times, and did Ayurveda dominate the field of medicine?
As far as my knowledge is very limited on this, very honestly, but we have had other epidemics like the Spanish flu, etc., where 10 million, 40 million people were killed. This is 50, 100 years ago, so this is not something new. In fact, one of the interesting things I noticed is that I was watching Bill Gates gave a talk in 2015, a TED talk on the issue of viruses or epidemics. He said the greatest threat the world faces is not atomic war. The greatest threat the world faces, he said, is epidemics. And he has been proved right, because they come up from nowhere and knock the heck out of the whole world. So in a way, this idea of not addressing the issue of epidemics in a much more serious manner by the world authorities, we are paying a price for that. So Whether we already had these things in ancient times, I'm not sure, because there is no such real record that we had epidemics, but we must have had many other illnesses that were kind of, contagious. So I'm sure we had. Now the thing is, look, in ancient days, the only way we could treat our illnesses was using Ayurvedic or herbal medicine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not in a way vilifying them whatsoever. They have a benefit, and we can use them on a regular basis, on a long-term basis. But when you get a virus like this kind of Ayurvedic medicine is not going to work. In fact, I'll touch on it. My mentor, Sri Ramakrishna, said something very interesting, and I will latch on to these things. He said, in the ancient days, if you had a problem, you go to the Vaidya, the herbal doctor, and he would give you a little bit of a kind of mix up a lot of herbs and give it to you and say, okay, eat this and you'll be all right. Faki. He said, but now we live in a world where we require, these are his English word, pure mixture. Means chemical ways of somehow addressing the medical issues that we face. We have moved into that stage where we can use, look, don't be nervous. The reason why human beings live much longer now in the last 100 years is because of this, the allopathic medicine that we have developed so well. In fact, the problem with the allopathic medicine is it allows us to live to such a long life, 90 years, etc., we get dementia. So it's now becoming a negative thing. But so we must pay full tribute to this allopathic medicine for addressing this kind of serious issue like viruses. So if you say that I have tremendous respect for Ayurveda, and the Ayurveda means is one of the limbs of the Vedas, kind of an ancillary subject linked with the Vedas, saying it is very important. It's a worldly science, but it's very important science. That's why it's called Ayurveda. Any more questions, sir?
So, Jaybai, a practical question is, a lot of people are now working from home. So, what is the solution for people who are working from home when it comes to discipline, when it comes to things like exercise, when it comes to mental health, for having a structure or a routine around the way they work? Is there any advice you can give, worldly advice?
Surely. Why not? You see, look, I'm telling you my situation. I love my granddaughter. I can't live without her. Now I can't even see her because in case I catch infection from her. So I'm really struggling. So tremendous discipline is required for me to keep away from her, because this is not being kind of emotional and I love I must grab her and hug her, asking for trouble. So we have to be very pragmatic and practical. So you see, this is not a short-term thing. This is the worrying part. This particular virus is not going to go away in a month or whatever. So we suspect it may go on for a year before we get a vaccination. So we have to now readjust our routine lifestyle to take into account this new situation that we face. So how do we do that? Look, we have to isolate ourselves. We are stuck. In a way, it is forcing us to try and live within ourselves rather than live externally. The world had gone completely wild in a highly materialistic mode, and mixing with people, socializing, drinking, pubbing, clubbing, and going on cruises. All that has been stopped instantaneously. It just chopped off. This highly frenzied materialistic lifestyle has been severely challenged. So it's gone. It's really struggling. So we now have to refocus our attention of living a much more, if you like, a much more spiritually oriented life rather than a materially oriented life. So if somebody says, is there a silver lining to this horrendous virus we have? The silver lining is this. We have been in a way given a real jolt, a real smack, saying this very highly materialistic vision with which you have been living, hype, full hype, live up to the hype. That has been now severely challenged and put on the back burner, saying you can't live that anymore. So now we have to readdress our issue and say, how do we lead our lives? What do we do? We don't know what to do because we are not used to living in isolation. And now we are forced to live in isolation. So what is the positive side? The positive, look, whenever you get any challenges, come fighting, says Swami Vivekananda, and then you turn it into an opportunity. So the opportunity is this. It is possible for us to now say, look, I can't mix with so many people anymore. I'm fed up of watching TV or doing YouTube or what. So what do? I focus inward. So rather than focusing on outward life, I focus on the inward life. So say, I never bothered to explore my own inner being. What is the state of my mind, etc. Now I've got don't have an opportunity. I've been forced to look inward. So this is the time where you can say, okay, I thought about sitting for meditation every day for half an hour, whatever. I didn't have the time. Now I have got all the time I like. So I can sit for meditation. I will struggle. But at least I've got the opportunity to try and explore the deeper aspect to myself, my inner being. So this is the opportunity for us to look inward. And you say, this is boring. It's not boring. The inward journey, in fact, is perhaps the most exciting journey a human being can take on. This is what Hinduism is all about. So in a way it has pressurized or forced us to in a way spend more time with ourselves, what is our true nature, and realize what a mess we are in and try and correct this mess. Ishit Bhai, any more?
I have some more, but I will ask Manish Bhai to carry on because he's got many more questions.
Manish Bhai, here we go.
Yes, Jai Bhai, one more question. Coming back to that Siva existence, Siddharth Mani is asking, can you certainly say with surety that there is no Siva? I know someone who has experienced Siva. Please clarify whether you are saying that mind power is the real truth.
Okay, let me tell you, and this is very blunt, this is my own honest opinion. You see, in a way, people think there's some external being called Shiva or Vishnu or Mother Goddess who is in a way dictating to us. In fact, we in a way are the powerful personalities who can in a way invoke Shiva, create Shiva, if I can use the word. You say, you create Shiva, you are nobody, you are a peanut. The thing is, look, my mentor Sri Ramakrishna looked like an ordinary person. He decided that if I want to make sure the Mother Goddess takes on a form and plays with me and interacts with me, and had he gone mad or something? No. He was able to conjure up the Mother Goddess to come in front of him and play, interact with him, talk to him, dance with him, joke with him. So I'm saying there is a Shiva, but you require that tremendous power of Ramakrishna to make the Shiva come into reality and interact with us. There is a Shiva, but it depends on your ability to invoke the Shiva. Manish Bhai?
Very good, sir. Thank you for that.
Sorry, my musketeers are caught in this little machine. Any other question, Manish Bhai?
Yes, I'll take one more. Pratik Kavalas, is ethics self-defined?
Sorry, what is defined?
Is ethics
Oh, yeah. Ethics. How do you define ethics? This is
self-defined? Are they self-defined?
okay. How do I define ethics? Ethics means what is good, what is bad. How to define good and bad? What is something for you that you should do, what you should not do? How do you decide? Now you see, all different traditions, all religions, and even different sectarian movements will have their own guidelines saying this is considered to be ethical, this is considered to be unethical. So this is visible in every civilization, even a social, a secular society will produce their own set of ethics. This is called the law of the country, law of the land. So how do we, in a deeper way, define what is ethics? And this is very beautiful stuff coming from my mentor, the guy sitting here. He said, anything that is in a way allowing you to go back to your true nature, allowing you to progress to a true nature is good. Anything that takes you away from your true nature is bad. Simple as that, good and bad. So suppose I want to help somebody, what am I doing? In a way, I'm linking to my true nature that is in a way underpinning everybody else by helping others. So I'm going back to my true nature. Suppose I hurt somebody, I'm hurting myself. So I'm going against my nature, bad. See, that is a simple way of defining good and bad. Suppose I get drunk, I'm losing track of my true nature. So it's not good. Suppose I become focused and meditate, I'm becoming this good because I'm not going back towards my true nature. Spirit, I am the spirit. I want to experience that. So this is how we define ethics in Hinduism. Very unusual way. In fact, even a secular person will perhaps find it interesting because this is a better of relating to good and bad rather than this kind of the golden rule the secularists promote. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. That is commerce. This one is saying, I can't help myself, but look after others because I'm stuck with them. This is the difference between Hinduism and the golden rule of the Humanist Association. Ishit Bhai?
So I was reading one topic here, and it was talking about the 5 principles of Hinduism and the 10 disciplines. So I'm just going to read them out briefly.
Yeah.
Then maybe if you could share some of your points on it. So the 5 principles of Hinduism are: 1, that God exists. There is one universal singular force or absolute divine. That all human beings are divine. That the soul of an individual or the Jivatma is already part of the divine soul, the Paramatma. But it is our mission as a human to awaken the soul and make it realize its true divine nature. Then we've got number 3, which is unity of existence, which is that the seekers aim to be at one with God and not as separate persons themselves. So a closer connection with God. They look at religious harmony as number 4. So the basic natural law is to remain at harmony with fellow creatures and the universe as a whole. And number 5 is the knowledge of the 3 Gs, which is the Ganges, the Gita, and the Gayatri.
Yeah. Manish bhai, can I ask you, where did you get these 5 principles? Because it belongs to some movement, possibly Arya Samaj, but it belongs to some movement.
I've got it on an article that says it's just a general article on basics of Hinduism.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hinduism is a vast system of thought, and there are different movements which will focus on certain principles, saying these are the key principles. Nothing wrong. We need to codify things. We need to put it in a group. So there are different groups, and some groups will kind of focus on, say, Gayatri and Ganga, etc. So it's not necessarily something that's universal for all the Hindus, but it's nice to have the 5, the yam and niyam that Patanjali Yoga Sutra kind of promotes. These are the kind of 5 disciplines and 5, if you like, codes of conduct we have to adopt are as follows. 5 are called yama. That means disciplines you adopt. And they are as follows. You can see they are universal. It says Satya. Focus on what you think is true. Doesn't matter if it's wrong, but focus on it. Don't lose track of it. Satya. Be established in truth. What you think, what you say, and what you do must join up. Simple. And everybody should agree that this sounds sensible to kind of be a joined up person. Satya. Ahimsa. Recognize that all life is sacred. Again, you can see this is the foundation of Jainism. Satya, ahimsa, asteya. Don't steal. Don't pinch from us other people. It's a tendency for human beings from the animal kingdom to pinch from others, and we like to do that in the human kingdom, saying don't do that. Asteya, aparigraha. Even when you accept some kind of gift from other people, you're under their control. You come under their control. So if there are some rich people saying, Mr. Lakhani, I will fund your thing, but then you must put me in the front row of your talks. I say, go away. So once you start accepting things, you're under their control. Aparigraha. And the final is the killer, brahmacharya. Now this we have talked about it in great depth. Brahmacharya, the people who are the gurus generally don't like to say too much about brahmacharya, including Tulsidas. Brahmacharya says celibacy, no lovey-dovey, full stop, not even in your dream. This is the heart of Brahmacharya. But the guru says no, brahmacharya means establishing in Brahman. This brahmacharya means no lovey-dovey, according to Patanjali. And this is what my mentor Vivekananda would suggest. Very tough. That's if you want to hang on. This is just the five disciplines. There were the five. These are out of the 10. These are just the 5.
Oh yes.
There are 5 more to come.
Yes.
The 5 more are called. These are called the yama. The other ones are called niyama. The observances that you must observe in your routine life, and they are saucha, santosh, tap, swadhyay, ishwar pranidhan. These are the 5. So these are the 10 central principles. If you like the 10 commandments of the Hindus, visible in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra as yama and niyama. We won't go into great detail because we'll spend the whole day talking about them.
Great. So the article I was having was basically showcasing the 5 principles and then these 10 things that you just talked about.
Yeah.
So we've got a few other questions. So one of them, one of them is basically an observation saying that the coronavirus lock-in period will all help us with self-introspection, what you just mentioned.
Correct. In a way, this is the silver lining. It is forcing us to look inward rather than resolve a human issue by chasing after material kind of an aspiration. It forces us to look inward and say our resolution is not in chasing after materialism. In a way, it's a jolt for materialism. It's a real smack in the face of materialism, saying that this focusing on just material aspiration is now coming to a halt. And it's not because some nature is in a way taking revenge. Some people keep saying is nature taking revenge. Nature doesn't have a character saying, I take revenge. Nature is nature, full stop. It's just the world that we live in a way, has a habit of sometimes ganging up us and smacking us, saying, look. And so in a way, this is a jolt to our highly materialistic vision that we had, highly frenzied lifestyle we were living, saying, stop it. And you are forced to stop it now. Not that this is something that you can think about and you can plan. You are now forced to stop this kind of highly frenzied lifestyle. So in a way, it makes you introspective, allows you to think inward, think higher. In fact, this is what we are doing, Nishil Bhai and Manish Bhai. Because this is an opportunity, what we have done is we have done a lot of interesting recordings on the story of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. So we are now taking opportunity to presenting these ideas on the media in the UK, on Sky 711 every day, 11 o'clock in the morning, half an hour, focusing on the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. And now we are planning to do something similar at 9:30 every evening in UK on Sky 711, presenting some of the deeper vision of Hinduism, because now the human beings are stuck in the home. They don't know what to do. They're bored. So this is the opportunity for them to learn about the tradition in a very structured, systematic manner. So we are trying to use this opportunity, this lull that we have at the moment, to focus on these spiritual aspirations. One other thing I must say without any hesitation is, the moment they find vaccination, the stock market will zoom, everything will go up, and this frenzied lifestyle will begin again. Mr. Lakhani or Vivekananda will not get that way. So at the moment, we just have this period of lull, period of peace, quietness. Take advantage of it to think of something higher. Manish Bhai, anything?
Yes, sir. We got one interesting question from Ryan. He's saying at a deeper philosophical level, both Sikhism and Advaita Vedanta say that there is one divinity underpinning our existence and essentially it's our true nature. So what is the difference between Sikhism and Advaita Vedanta?
Okay, look, I'm very cautious when I have to talk about Buddhism or Sikhism or Jainism. They're all Indic traditions, they're all dharmic tradition, and they share a lot of material. And yet I'm very cautious. The reason is this: I don't want to step into somebody else's territory and make comments which are perhaps not correct. So I'm very cautious about making any comment about Sikhism, Jainism or Buddhism even. But I do make the following comment. We share with Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism the main central feature of the word dharma. There's something underpinning this creation that we say is holding everything together, and we want to understand what's the nature of the underpinning to this reality. What is holding everything together? Dhara, that's the word dharma. Same in Buddhism and Sikhism as dharma. What is it? What is the principle underpinning reality? That is our search. There are two other things that we share with all these four religions, all these four traditions are, of course, this idea of reincarnation. Very important. This is the speciality of the four Indian religions: Sikhism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. There is a continuity of our spiritual progress. It doesn't stop with one life. And a lot of characteristics we possess today can be better explained by looking at our previous lives. Very crucial for us to understand, because it tells us exactly how we are progressing, how fast or slow we are progressing, and how our past background in a way dictates our character today. So not that I'm an evil monster. Sometimes the baggage that I picked up from my animal kingdom somehow reveals itself in a very brutal way in the human kingdom. So once I know that knowledge itself is enough for me to kind of guard against it and get over it. So reincarnation is a very powerful feature that we possess, all the four Indic tradition. Another thing that we possess as a commonality is the idea of law of karma, central feature. It's not that there's some mechanism trying to catch us up and say, okay, I'll thump you because you are very naughty. Our character that we chisel in one life stays with us and comes in the next life, and in a way again opens up. So in a way reveals its true nature in the next life, and all the hard work we have done finds fruition in the next life. So what a nice continuity. That's why David Hume, a major atheist, a major kind of critical person of all religions, said the following. He said, if you want to believe in life after death, the only logical way of thinking about it is the reincarnation of the Indic tradition. So he could straightaway see this is the logical way of understanding how something can continue. So these are the common features we have. But we also have within our own tradition vast variation. And the reason is this. Suppose Buddha goes into meditation. He doesn't see gods and goddesses, he doesn't see Vishnu, nothing. And yet he's enlightened. So the way he comes to terms with his spiritual experience is to use his own mindset and say, I'm enlightened, Buddha, I've become Buddha. So this is how Buddhism, in a way, so he's got his own slant, he's got his own kind of trajectory. Same thing, when for example, say some of the Hindu mystics kind of go into deep meditation, some say, oh, I've seen Mother Goddess, I've seen Father in Heaven, I've seen Vishnu. So like that, different individuals in the Indic tradition, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, will in a way come to terms regarding their own spiritual experience using their own mindset, and this mindset is different. So we have variation, whether it is Jainism or Buddhism or Sikhism or Hinduism. So variation is there. And yet underpinning all of them is the same spiritual experience. That's the best way of presenting rather than trying to go into great debate regarding Advaita and Sikhism. Take some more questions.
Okay, sir. Okay. Since you mentioned Buddha, I take this one question from Sri Ramchandra Dhar. He's saying, who is the real ninth of Lord Vishnu? Is it Buddha or is it the elder brother of Krishna?
Balram, yeah, okay. Now, look, The story of the 10 avatar, das avatar, is very much part of the Puranic tradition. It's in Bhagavad Puran. And the Bhagavad Puran also mentions not only 10 avatars, 24 avatars as well. So there are a lot of other kind of personality incorporated in the Bhagavad Puran. Now, I love Bhagavad Puran. It is very powerful, lovely book that allows us to engage with spirituality. No doubt. And yet, because it's a Puranic story, don't give it literal meaning. Don't give it word for word meaning. So, for example, when they say the 10th avatar is Kalki, he's going to come on a horse, a white horse, and wave a sword and all that. For me, it sounds like way out of, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. And of course, there are some other religions saying, you see, our prophet is your 10th avatar. So, all this weird stuff happening. I am saying, take these avatars with a pinch of salt. So, the Hindus did the following. Some Hindus were very traditional. They said, look, Buddha, we can't let him get away. He's saying he's not Hindu. We must say he is. So, he's the 9th avatar. But then they say, some Hindus say, no, he says he's not a Hindu. How dare you call him a Hindu avatar? So they say, we don't want Buddha. So they say, who else can you put in? They say, Balram. Krishna's older brother is the 9th. So like that, they try and adjust this 9th avatar. What is the real answer? You decide. Because both are kind of colorful way of engaging with the idea of avatar or spirituality kind of becoming visible on earth. So you decide. But according to me, I say, look, leave Buddha alone, because the Buddhists will scream when you say it's the 9th avatar. But at the same time, the Hindus say, no, we want to incorporate him, we want to capture him. So that's our style. Some more questions, Manish Bhai?
I think it's Nishit Bhai's turn now.
So we got a question from Pratik, and he's asking that does Hinduism, so the civilization and the traditions that are defined by Hinduism, can they be defined as a religion as per the government guidelines so that our heritage, temples and knowledge continues to be propagated?
You see, it's such a great pity, because we have been a self-effacing tradition. We have never gone out to rubber stamp other people, imposing ourselves on others, saying this is our idea. Because we've been so self-effacing, we've not been forcing ourselves out, the story has been turned upside down on us. I'll give you the example. And this is a very cutting example. We printed a book on Hindu. We printed 2 books on Hinduism, and I didn't want to put copyright. I said, let anybody pinch what they like from it and take it away. We don't mind. And it's universal teaching, anybody can take it. And my publisher said, Mr. Lakhani, you can't do that. Unless you put copyright, somebody else will copy your book and say that you have copied from him, and they'll take legal action against you. I said, oh dear, I never thought like that. Now this is what's happened to Hindus. This is what the question is all about. For thousands of years, not exaggerating, if you like, the cradle of civilization on this earth was in ancient India, 20,000 years. The cradle of civilization is India, and a lot of interesting ideas have gone out of India into the rest of the world, Europe, everywhere, Middle East, everywhere. And so, even though we were the people who were driving wonderful, very deep vision regarding spirituality and philosophy to the rest of the world, we never put copyright. So what has happened is this: they say, the Aryans brought this lovely Sanskrit into India. See, they turned the tables on us. And that's exactly why we are struggling now. I have been very blunt, even though I'm not a fanatic Hindu. I'm saying India must now, for the first time, thankfully with this new government, a spiritual nation. Hinduism is our inheritance, and we are not going to go away from it. So it's necessary now to, in a way, insist that we are a Hindu nation, and insist that we have this our own individuality that cannot be compromised or kind of demean the way they are doing at the moment. It's time to put our foot down, basically. Any other questions, sir?
It's not a question at this point.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people have been sort of going into fear mode when they talk about the global pandemic of coronavirus, with all this action that the governments are taking and the whole change of life and pace. And what I just wanted to read out is a quote from Dale Carnegie, which is that inaction breeds doubt and fear, whereas action breeds confidence and courage. And if you want to conquer your fear, do not sit back and think about it, but go out and get busy. Now, what I want to just encourage everybody is that during this time, when you're forced to work from home or be in self-isolation, it's not a time to be fearful and stay back without taking action. Use this time to look at other things like J-Bai said, do some introspection, look at other things that you may have not had a chance to do, and go out and do them. I'm sure a lot of people will be going online, so don't waste your time looking at TV shows and YouTube, but rather train yourself or upskill yourself for the new future. Next couple of months things will be different, so be ready to prepare yourself and don't just sit back and be fearful.
Yeah, Nishibai, can I add? You see, when you actually, civilization, there's a nice saying, civilization is skin deep. If you just pinch the skin, the wildness comes out, because we come from the animal kingdom. So there is panic, there's no more food now in the supermarket, let's buy everything we can get hold of. So people overbuy, overstuff themselves, over kind of compensate, and in a way create more problem. So this is, if you like, our animal instinct kind of kicking in. That's why we have this panic buying and this kind of fearful. This is standard feature for all living things and all human beings as well. We become fearful. And if you are sober, say, okay, we have a serious challenge. Let us see how we can handle it, how we can overcome it, and how we can turn it into an opportunity for greater progress, spiritual progress, if nothing else. So this idea of, in a way, turning it around and saying, look, a challenge can become an opportunity provided you are sober and you are kind of calm and controlled. This is what our tradition teaches, and I think the Hindus are very good at this. So hopefully, even with all this kind of curfew that is being imposed now, India will in a way quickly regain its center of gravity and its kind of dignity again.
I see this is an opportunity where you can see the ugly side of society with this panic buying and all these kind of things, and we also have the good side of society where people rise up, look after the neighbors, look after the vulnerable people in the society, go out and feed them and do their shopping, etc. So it's a time to shine and not a time to panic.
In fact, look, Nishit Bhai, this is, sometimes people say, Mr. Lakhani, why are you praising the British so much? I say, look, what we've been preaching, dignifying, helping humanity, etc., they have been practicing for the last 50 years, since the Second World War. They've really put it into practice in big time. Even now, I mean, in the street that we live in, there are youngsters, young kind of very kind of vibrant youngsters going around putting little notes into every doorstep, into every mailbox saying, if you need help, phone me. I'll come and help sort you out. I'll get your shopping done for you. And they are doing it. I know some youngsters who are delivering 300 parcels of food every day. And there are some Hindu bodies also kind of stepping in, and I'm very pleased to see that. So this nation in a way shows this kind of positive side when we have this kind of crisis. And I'm hoping India will also rise up to the challenge.
Manish?
Yes, I've got Ryan asking a very good question. We were mentioning Seva. He's saying, how significant is Seva in Hinduism? Is there a particular scripture which highlights its importance?
Good you asked me this question, because you see, look, I'm sitting in front of this image here. I would say the image is behind me. You see, the word, almost all religions in the world use the word charity, daya, compassion. When people are struggling, there are people who are struggling, it is time for you to show compassion. This shows that you are a religious person. In fact, they'll say you must spend so much percentage of your income for charity. Fair enough. So the word daya or compassion was a central feature of all religions, including Hinduism. A transition came place with this guy. You see, his master Sri Ramakrishna said one day, he was using the word daya. He said, why daya? Daya, wrong word, said Ramakrishna. He said, what's wrong with daya? Such a lovely word. He said, no, wrong word. In deep meditation, not daya, seva. You see, the idea that you throw crumbs at people who are struggling is a very poor way of looking at humanity. It's undignifying. Don't say daya. Don't say, oh, compassion, I throw crumbs at you, I've got more than you. Use the word seva. The God that I'm praising, the God that I'm worshipping, that I thought is in heaven, is sitting in front of me and struggling. Is here in front of me. Not some individual struggling. It's God alone struggling in front of me. So there is no daya. No, how do you show compassion to God? Seva. You are very lucky. You have the opportunity to serve your God sitting in front of you and struggling. So the word daya was shifted by Sri Ramakrishna. He's the first person to bring it over from daya to seva. And now all the Hindu societies in the UK go seva week. Wonderful. Carry on. Serving God in humanity is the central feature of our tradition, and we love it because it's not charity, not throwing crumbs at people who are struggling, but seeing your God struggling and saying, I have no choice in the matter, I have to serve my God. Serve, seva. I'll take some more questions.
That's great answer, sir. We got one interesting question from Seva Chetty. He's asking, what are some of the best
Okay? Look, in fact, one of the criticism I had, one of my earlier videos I sent out, I said, we are not here to proselytize others, try and convert others. And somebody said, Mr. Lakhani, why not? We've got such powerful ideas. We must go and proselytize. We must tell others to join us. Then we are in the same boat. You know, the idea of kill or convert. We are in the same boat then. We don't do that. We have never done that. This is our magnanimous nature. We don't compromise it. Our ideas are very important. Do you know how we do it? Instead of taking a rubber stamp and saying, okay, now you like Hinduism, I rubber stamp you. Ding, you are Hindu. That's the wrong way. We don't increase our number just for the sake of increasing numbers. The ideas we possess are so potent and so powerful. Let them enter society. That is what Vivekananda is all about. He never said, oh, put Vivekananda picture everywhere and rubber stamp everybody. He said, the ideas I possess, I'm going to plant them in the West and let them grow, let them mature, let them fertilize here. And this is what's happening automatically. So the world is becoming Hindu without the tops and tails of Hinduism. I prefer it that way rather than saying, oh no, now you've got a rubber stamp. So our way of kind of promoting our ideas are already, look, the three ideas that we possess, are so powerful, the world cannot avoid them. So when you get this kind of jolt, you know, this commercial, this jolt from the virus, in a way to refocus the attention of the whole world on these three ideas that we possess. It is inevitable. It's not me. The ideas are so potent, they cannot be avoided. The world has to absorb them and embrace them. What are these three ideas? The three ideas is this. Seeing that something very special is manifesting in this human frame. Not Richard Dawkins saying this is accident or evolution, you are special, Mr. Lakhani. There's something non-material manifesting in this material frame. Recognizing our spiritual underpinning. This is a very powerful idea. It takes us away from this highly crass materialistic humanism to the spiritual humanism that I'm talking about. So this is the first feature. And again, this is going to steal the hearts of the thinking youngsters today. Because materialistic humanism is not that attractive, it's boring. You're just a lump of carbon. So this idea is central feature. I don't have to promote it, it'll enter. It's already entering. They're already practicing spiritual humanism without the word spiritual humanism. So be it, that's one. The second feature we possess, which is also very powerful, is this idea of reincarnation. We may think, oh, it's, kind of floaty idea, whether we are reborn as a human. No, this is a central feature that tells us why we are as we are and how we can overcome our limitation. For example, at the moment, somebody was just asking me, there's so much fixation on sex and this gender attraction. I say, if you recognize where it comes from, then you can rise above it. If you don't recognize where it comes from, you are the slave. You become slave of this gender attraction. If you realize that, many lifetimes you create this kind of tremendous, momentum for attraction to the other gender, you need to realize why it is with you. It's been reinforced over many lifetimes. Once you recognize it, you can rise above it. So the idea of reincarnation is not a minor feature. It tells us exactly why we are as we are and how we can overcome our limitation. Second feature. The third feature, which is going to be a killer. You see, modern science, I'm a scientist. I'm coming from a bright pedigree. Learned my quantum physics with Sir Roger Penrose. He's the number one person in the UK. Now modern science is now telling us there's a deeper vision to this reality. It's not matter. There's something deeper. And this particular vision comes from Hinduism. In fact, modern science is struggling regarding how it can progress further. And the answer comes from us. There's a deeper reality which is non-material. Says quantum physics, says Hinduism. So now Hinduism has got the ability to take science a stage forward. At the moment it's stuck in a rut, it's in a cul-de-sac. So we have the power to take science a stage forward. Forget about being frightened of science. We'll say, science, you are struggling, we'll help you out. So these are the three features that we possess, which are going to, in a way, steal the hearts and minds of the people without us going around with rubber stamps. So be it. Manish bhai?
I think it's Nishit my turn now.
I have one question from Pratik Garg.
Go on.
And Pratik is saying that his loving parents have allowed him a stipend so that he can leave the home and go out and seek, how he can fulfill his dharma for seva by doing what is called social entrepreneurship for society. So he is saying he's unable to trust most of the NGOs and he's confused on how best to help society with his efforts.
You see, we all have our own way of doing things. For example, I personally have this kind of love for science and some of the vision regarding that comes from our mentors here. So I follow that particular pathway. Is that pathway the only pathway? No, my friend. All of us, we discover our own way to, in a way, unfold spiritually and in a way contribute to the greater good. We all have our own way. Why should their one way be better than the other? Depending on your own circumstances or on your own ability, you follow the pathway that suits your own temperament and your own particular kind of ability. So please follow through. Don't get worried. Of course, look, we are not foolhardy saying that in the coronavirus arena, you go out and step into the kind of infected area. We don't talk things like that. We're not foolhardy. At the same time, use your practical skills to contribute as much as you can. Why are you running out of questions, Manish bhai?
Okay, I've got a question. Hello?
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Yes, the planetary citizen said he watched your video on Mother Goddess Kali, and he said it was very interesting. He's asking, is Kali's garland of skull represent our previous incarnations?
No, I hope not. No, the skull is a symbolic gesture. It is telling humanity, look chaps, you are so happy, you look so well in the mirror, oh I'm so clever, and look I'm so well dressed, and my friend, all of this is going to disappear, you're going to become one of these skulls in no time. It is just telling us the reality, it is asking us to face up to reality. Normally we human beings like to avoid the word death. Look, that's why the virus is frightening us. We don't like the word death or even face up to death. When somebody passes away, we throw flowers on the body and cover it up. We don't want to see the face of death. Kali is saying, you can't do that. I'm showing you the face of death. See this skull around my neck? You'll be here in a minute. So, look, all of us are going to be there, by the way. It's a frightening scenario, but it's telling us to face up to facts. So, death is not something we all have to face up to it, but at the same time, don't be morbid about it, but recognize that this is inevitable. And in a way, it puts life into perspective, saying every moment is precious. This is all I can say.
Following on to that, sir, do people have power over death? Can we exit our own body at our choice? Because, at the end of the life, it becomes difficult to carry on. Is there any way to get out of the body without much pain?
Look, I'll be very frank. One of our earlier chairmen of Hindu Academy was a doctor. He kept eating, ladus, all this ghee and all that. I said, this is dangerous, high cholesterol. He said, look, Jay, if I have to die, I want to get a heart attack, so I go zoom. I don't want to have a slow death, it goes on for years and years and I suffer in the hospital. So I want to go quickly. So heart attack is the best way. That's why I'm eating all these ladus. So I'm not suggesting we all start eating ladus, but it is important for us to realize that we cannot control how our death will come to us. We have no idea. It may be very lingering, slow death, it may be dementia, God help us. So we don't know. But the thing is this, as you said, is it possible, this ichha mrityu, is it possible for an individual to say, I will give up my body when I like? There are two people who are given this particular special status. Well, there are more perhaps. One is Hanuman, ichha mrityu. He will only give up his body when he wants to give it up. Otherwise he'll carry on. This is the idea of Ramayana, ancient Ramayana. And my mentor, Swami Vivekananda, was also given the same boon. His master said, when this boy knows his job work is done, he will fling his body, he will spit his body out. He will not be bothered with the body anymore. He will give it up at will. And this is how, there are some individuals who say, my work is done and I don't need the body anymore. In fact, it is restricting me, so I better spit it out. When he passed away, Swami Vivekananda, he appeared to one of his Guru Bhais and said, look, Guru Bhai, I've spit up my body and now I'm free. I can in a way, enlighten more people without the body, because now I can enter all the systems. And look, that's why he's entered me as well. So in a way, by giving up the body, he can do more work, inspire more people throughout the world. So sometimes by giving up the body, you can do greater work. Not I'm suggesting all of us give up our bodies, we carry on, and I want to carry on as well. But this is the wonderful thing that this is called ichha mrityu. There are some people, chiranjeevi, they can give up their body at will. But this is the part is mythological, part is like Vivekananda. Manish bhai, any more?
Thank you for that. Yes, we do have Sadi Globetrot asking. He's asking about, people outside Hindu Sanatana Dharma want to attracted to Hinduism and coming in the fold. He's saying, how does Hindu scripture like the Vedas see those who are not Indian but are attracted to Sanatana Dharma? For example, how does Sankaracharya see and classify those foreigners and their karma?
Yeah, okay. We've got some traditional Hindus who will say, no, if you're not Hindu, not born in a Hindu family, you can't be Hindu. But that is traditionalist. The modern thinkers are saying, look, if you like the Hindu ideas, like Vivekananda, if you like the Hindu ideas, you are already a Hindu without the tops and tails. So be it. You already incorporated the idea in your life. So be it. You are a Hindu. But again, this idea is this. The Arya Samaj is one movement, Hindu movement, recent movement, that actually went out of its way to bring Hindus back into the Hindu fold. A lot of Hindus were converted through fraud and fear and force, etc. So he brought in this idea called Shuddhi. He said, you want to come back to our fold? Why not? You belong to us. You are welcome to get back. So he's the only recent movement that has encouraged Hindus who have left Hinduism to come back to the fold. I say perfectly fine. If there are some large communities who say we want to come back to Hinduism, we should not stop them. There was one issue I'm telling you. I think it was from Bangladesh. A lot of Bangladeshi Muslims wanted to come back to Hinduism, and there were some pandits saying, no, you can't. You'll be reborn as a Hindu. They say, okay, now we'll smack you. See, this is why we have to be open. They are our own people. They want to come back. Who are we to say, you can't come back? It's written in my scripture. This is the problem with the Shastras. So I say, throw the Shastras away. Think for yourself. Here are the people who really love your tradition, who were taken out of your tradition by force or fear or fraud, etc. They want to come back to you. Let them come back. Why are you to stop them? Anything else, Manish Bhai? Okay, sorry, Nishit Bhai, sorry. Look, my friends, please excuse us today. Nishit Bhai is going to find some magic way in the future whereby we can see each other's face without me waving this kind of cameras at each other. But today we just had to...
We just... minutes into the broadcast, so whenever we are ready, we can wind up.
Okay, nearly finished. Okay, any last questions, Nishit Bhai?
I don't have any questions. I've got a quote ready.
All yours, sir.
Manish Bhai has got any last questions?
If we want to come back to this Seva question, Siddharth Main is following up on his question. He's saying, could Seva be an experience that transcends to a different dimension? Could quantum physics and Seva be related?
Okay. First of all, we Hindus have always said there are many levels of existence, not only one. There are lots of different levels of existence, higher, lower, etc. We always recognize them, and some of us have already visited them or tried them out. So we agree there are many levels of existence. Some may be higher levels, some may be lower levels of existence. We have always agreed with that. I am happy with this level of existence. I want to interact here as vibrantly, as robustly, as in an engaging manner as possible. But there are other levels of existence. Whether it's a level for Shiva, I don't know. I can't comment because I've not visited it, so I don't know. I think we should finish with that, I think. And rather than going to different levels of existence, let us ask Nishit Bhai to finish with the final quote. Go on, Nishit Bhai.
Okay, great. So the quote I have is from an anonymous person, and it goes like this. It says, don't look back. Instead, face forward with infinite energy, infinite enthusiasm, and infinite daring and infinite patience. Then alone can great deeds be accomplished. We are all in this together, and we will come through this at some point. So just, be patient, but don't lose your drive or your enthusiasm.
Thank you very much, Nishit Bhai. As usual, you come with wonderful material. Thank you, sir. I think we should finish with this. Hopefully next Saturday we're going to carry on. Coronavirus or no, but we'll find better technology so that I don't have to keep waving phones at each other and all that. But we still have to improvise in emergency situations because we can't meet, so we have to do this improvisation. Hopefully you do not find it too disruptive. So we see you next Saturday. Thank you, my friends.